I see motivation as the spark of a match, without which you won't have a fire to begin with. But in order for that fire to grow and to persist and to last as long as it needs to sustain you and yours, you have to cultivate it and tend to it daily. Discipline is simply you tending to your fire daily in order to not let it die. So please don't let your fire die. You don't always need to be motivated, man. I know you think that Tony Robbins or Les Brown or Eric Thomas or Gary Vee is going to save you with their talks and their speeches that get you all pumped up and ready for action, but nobody can save you. Only you can save you. And you're not going to save yourself and change your life until you start to rely on discipline over motivation. Let's talk about it. So the other day I was leaving the gym on a day I did not feel like working out. The night before I stayed up too late, but my alarm hit 3:30 and I woke up anyway and I went to the gym to work out regardless of how I felt, which was pretty terrible. And I ended up having an amazing workout because once I got there, I couldn't avoid the work. I'd already gotten myself to that location. It was time to get busy. And on my way out the gym, after I had that amazing workout, it made me think about what made that possible. And I thought about it. It was my discipline that got me there and got me through my workout, not my motivation in that instance. So I started to think about which driving force is more pivotal when it comes to pursuing and achieving goals. So I put up this tweet. And I read some responses. Some people said that, well, without motivation, discipline is pointless, or you need motivation to even get to the point of establishing discipline. And we had some discourse over that. And I agree with a lot of what I heard, but overall, I liken motivation to more of emotion, more of the emotional side of pursuing goals and dreams. But emotions are fleeting and they're unreliable and they can be sporadic at times. And that's what scares me about placing so much stock into my motivation. Because if it goes, I'm lost. Discipline carries me through. So like I said, I wake up at 3:30 a.m. Monday to Friday and I work out 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday. And if I'm being completely honest, if I'm going to keep it a bean with y'all, at least 2 of those days, maybe 3, I do not want to work out. I don't feel like it because what's comfortable is me staying in bed, staying warm with the heater on, watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix, doing whatever I want to do. But when my alarm clock goes off in the morning, I only have to make one decision. That's where my discipline comes in, and making this one decision in the morning, one conscious decision, is to not hit my snooze button. So when 3:30 hits, I get up and I start attacking my day. I don't have a snooze button to hit. That's where discipline comes in. Because no matter what, I'm getting up and I'm attacking my day. Am I just so motivated to work out and go crazy in the gym every day? No. But I'm so disciplined because I've integrated it into my lifestyle to the point where I don't have to push myself to go. It's just what I do. I wake up and I go exercise because that's who I am. Yes, intrinsically, I have this desire to be in great shape and to maintain my physique and to be healthy and have longevity. But let's keep it a buck, yo. I like burgers. I like fries. You feel what I'm saying? I love fried food, catfish and all that. I like soda. I can't buy it because I know I like soda a lot and I know myself. So if I allow myself to sleep in, I know my productivity plummets for the rest of the day. If I'm in bed at a certain time, I feel like I've wasted half of my day and it's so much harder for me to get up and to do what I'm supposed to do. I have to work on music early in the morning as well because I know after a long day of work, my willpower, my creativity, my mental capacity to even just express and create is so much lower than it was when I woke up that morning with a clean slate. If I'm not in the gym at 5 a.m., if I allow myself to wait till after work to exercise, chances are I'm not gonna exercise. That's just the fact of the matter. So I know myself. My discipline keeps me in line. My discipline keeps my workout schedule intact and my diet clean. It's not motivation. I kind of think of motivation like one of those Super Mario mushrooms. You know what I'm talking about. Regardless of whether I have the mushroom or not, I have to keep progressing to reach my goal. That screen's gonna move anyway. So either I'm gonna get with it or I'm gonna get left behind. Now, if I do have that mushroom and now I'm 3 times as big as I was, I'm fast, I jump higher, then yeah, making it to my goal is gonna be a more smooth process. But what if that mushroom is not there? Am I just gonna stop and just give up and lose and not get Princess Peach? Or I'm gonna keep figuring out a way to get to Bowser's Castle regardless. If I'm this big or I'm big with the mushroom, I'm going regardless. Before we go any further, let me first define motivation and discipline and explain to you where I'm coming from with this entire conversation. So motivation is said to be defined as the reason one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. The general desire or willingness of someone to do something. For the purposes of this video, we're going to focus on 2 kinds of motivation. extrinsic and intrinsic. Intrinsic, of course, comes from inside. It's essentially your why. Your deeper reason for doing anything you do, your deeper reason for being. For me, family is a huge one. My community is a huge one. My legacy is a huge one. It gets me up in the morning, gets me going every day. When I think about being tired, when I think I don't feel like doing anything, I think about what my why is and what's going to continue to push me forward, and I keep going. Extrinsic motivation, of course, comes from outside. Extrinsic could be watching the Tony Robbins, watching the Eric Thomas, right? Something that gets you pumped up or makes you feel like you're ready and you're more hungry to attack, right? Some extrinsic motivators could be a job offering you more money to make you perform better, make you work harder. An extrinsic motivator could be a job offering you more money to work harder or for increased performance, or them offering you some benefits or incentives. I think intrinsic is a little more reliable than extrinsic, but even intrinsic can get shaky at times. If it ever dwindles away, what do you then fall back on? And to me, I fall back on discipline, which is defined as control gained by enforcing obedience or order, orderly conduct or pattern of behavior, or self-control. So why do I rely on discipline over motivation? For me, it's a more methodical approach to achieving and pursuing goals. Motivation tends to be transient and sporadic and unreliable for most people to rely on 100% of the time. We need it, but we can't just simply rely on that alone. I may have a burning desire deep down to be an MMA fighter, to change my family's life, to do this, to do that. And most days, I'm going to want to work out hard, right? I'm going to be ready for the fire, for the grit, the hustle, because we love that feeling of going hard and working and achieving things, hitting new PRs. But what happens when your leg is sore because you kicked somebody too hard yesterday and you can't really run as fast as you should be running? What happens when you didn't sleep the night before because work had you up way too late? What happens when your kid was crying all night, you didn't get enough sleep, enough rest? What happens when you don't have enough money to sustain yourself and you're kind of a little hungry at practice? What happens? You can't promise yourself that you're going to be motivated to push your body through the ringer when you don't feel well, when your legs are sore from tour-a-days. How can you promise yourself you'll be motivated? But you have to show up anyway, because you know where you're headed and you also know what that requires. And what it requires of you is to be consistent. Consistency is tied to discipline. So your discipline would take you to get extra massages. Your discipline would take you to spending more time with a trainer or a therapist. Your discipline is going to keep you away from eating fried foods and keeping your body in tip-top shape. That's going to be your discipline. Start off with the motivation to be great, but discipline kept you going. I was thinking about my days playing college football, right? Vandy, of course, Vanderbilt University. And I'm thinking of every season, I had this deep desire to achieve and to fight for a spot and to go hard and to get in a rotation and to play more and to win games and do this and perform at the highest level every chance I got. I was super motivated intrinsically. I had a why. It was my family and me continuing to self-express in the most authentic way possible to give myself the best chance of being great on this earth. Okay? So my motivation was there most of the time. But bro, halfway through training camp, when your body is sore, when you're mentally exhausted from meetings and this and film and taking in hundreds of new plays being installed all the time, and tour-a-days got you feeling crazy and you're not seeing outside people, all you see is your teammates and your coaches and the staff, and it's football, 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 football. You're not that motivated to just play football all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you just kind of have to do. It's a formality. I'm motivated to chill with the team. I'm motivated to have a rap cipher in the locker room. I'm motivated to go take a walk, ride a bike, hit the lake. You know what I'm saying? Talk to some girls. My discipline keeps me in that ice tub every day. My discipline shows up to treatment on time to get work done so I can perform at a higher level. My discipline helps me rehydrate when I lose 8 pounds at a practice and I gotta rehydrate to be able to practice the next day. My discipline does that. I'm not motivated to eat a whole bunch of food that I don't want to eat, but I have to be able to perform. That was discipline. Discipline took me to the jug machine to catch 100 passes with my teammates. Motivation started it. Discipline kept it going, because sometimes after class, I don't feel like coming back to the football facility after we had practice that morning and meetings and breakfast and all of this stuff. I had a long day of class. And you're telling me to come back across campus to catch 100 passes? And if I drop one, it's 10 push-ups every time. Ain't much motivation all the time. It's discipline. It's going to keep me doing it on those dog days. One of my favorite people that I study is Jocko Willink. So if you guys aren't familiar, he's a former Navy SEAL. Has a podcast that's great, he's an author, he's done so much and he's still doing so much. And he wrote a book called Discipline Equals Freedom. When he spoke about it, he was saying how most people, when you think of discipline and freedom, you think that they're combating each other. You think that they can't be on the same team. but they can. His entire premise is that nothing is achieved without intense, focused discipline, regardless of your motivation. So every day on Twitter, he posts a picture of his watch at 4:30 a.m. because that's when he wakes up every day to start attacking his day. And to him, that's his discipline that gets him going. So similar to me with my 3:30 a.m. wake-ups, where I said I only make one decision every morning to not hit my snooze button. Every morning at 4:30, he wakes up and starts working. Rain, sun, shine, snow, hail, he gets up and goes. Because he argues that freedom is inherently tied to discipline. If you want financial freedom, you're going to have to be very disciplined about how you spend, how you save, and how you invest. If you want freedom of time, you're going to have to be very disciplined about how you spend your time, how efficient you are, how smart you can work so that you have more free time to do what you want to do or to do some other things. And Jim Rohn also has a quote where he says, "It takes consistent self-discipline to master the art of setting goals, time management, leadership, parenting, and relationships. If we don't make consistent self-discipline part of our daily lives, the results we speak will be sporadic and elusive." One thing you have to understand too, it's not about creating the greatest work every time. It's not about the classic song or the Oscar-worthy script you wrote or making 100 threes in a row if you're a basketball player. It's not about that. It's not about sitting down and painting Starry Night. It's about sitting down with a canvas and just starting to paint every day. Because the magic is in the process. The magic is in each brushstroke on our canvas. The magic is in establishing the muscle memory to help us call ourselves professionals because we do every day what we're supposed to do every day, no matter how we feel. Please give yourself grace. It's not about trying to boil the ocean. Discipline is just about taking one step at a time every day. Like Will Smith said about laying one brick every day as perfectly as you can. And before you know it, you'll have a castle. So all in all, I see so much value in both motivation and discipline. I see motivation as the spark of a match, without which you won't have a fire to begin with. But in order for that fire to grow and to persist and to last as long as it needs to sustain you and yours, you have to cultivate it and tend to it daily. Discipline is simply you tending to your fire daily in order to not let it die. So please don't let your fire die. Embrace motivation, lean on discipline, and it's going to change your life forever. That's all I got for y'all, man.